in trouble. Good morning. This is Beth. I've got my coffee this morning, fresh brewed. This is from Casey's. Usually don't get my coffee there. I usually make it at home because it's a lot less expensive, but I was out of creamer, so I had to get some coffee. So I thought what I would do is give you a video instead of a long email again. So about my trip to Destin Beach, Florida, I got in late last night or early this morning at 2:30 a.m. It was amazing. It was incredible. Destin is so gorgeous. I love it. Destin is definitely my happy place. I already knew that, but this just confirmed it anymore. I love it so much. So thank you so much for praying for me and my family while I was gone. So the beach, like I said, is gorgeous white soft sand, clear blue-green water, palm trees I love. And I'm looking down at my notes because I wrote some notes out so I wouldn't forget stuff. But I think palm trees are so majestic. There's over, one man said over 20 varieties and another said 40 of palm trees. And I didn't know that. And it was just a huge answered prayer. Um, Many of the things that I asked you to pray about, I really needed prayer for. My biggest concern going there was the Uber. I wanted to make sure my phone would work when I got there. I have an iPhone, and I wanted to make sure that I would get service there, T-Mobile, and T-Mobile isn't all over the United States. So I wanted to make sure I had the service, was able to use the Uber app that is on my phone and get the Uber from the airport, which is in Niceville, to Destin, only about 20 minutes, but I can't walk. That's a long walk. So God answered that huge prayer. I took Ubers the entire time I was there. I was not very far at all from the beach. It was walking distance right around the corner. I love that. I didn't have to walk far at all to Crystal Beach. And that made me so happy that it wasn't right on the beach, but it was right around the corner. So that was wonderful. The Ubers, it was the first time I've ever used an Uber alone by myself. I have taken them in Guatemala with my friend Kim and Stan. They knew how to do that, but I'd never done them myself with the Uber app. So they are lightning fast. One of the driver the last day, Lauren, she told me that I had come in kind of an off season. So during the summer, the Ubers are much slower. But every time I would call an Uber, they were there like that. I mean, they were so fast. And it's whoever is the closest to you who gets the drive to drive you around. It was not, I hope this didn't just go off because it just flashed or something. The Uber was not as expensive as I thought. Just to give you an idea, I thought it was going to be $20 one way every time, even for a short distance. It was about 8.14 average for every drive I took, every ride I had, because I didn't have to go that far. I just went to Publix grocery store in Destin Commons and some other places like that. So that relieved me. Now it does add up. So I took quite a number of trips just to go to a Publix a couple of times, a couple of restaurants, and Destin Commons, which is a shopping area. I was able to get my groceries at Publix the second day, getting the Uber, and went in. And I also was able to find a chair and a mat, a little chair for the beach, and a mat to lay on because the Airbnb did not provide that. They have chairs and umbrellas you can rent at the beach, but they're very expensive. So I got an inexpensive folding chair and had fabric seat blue. All you'll be seeing pictures of all this, and a really pretty, colorful, flowered mat that I used to lay on the beach. So I wouldn't have to just lay on the sand or just sit on the sand. So God answered that prayer for me too. I slept very deeply. My sister Maria prayed that I would sleep deeply the first night, and I did the whole time. The only night I didn't was next to the last night, the people upstairs, it sounded like they were walking back and forth and jumping and hopping, vacuuming 2 or 3 times. I don't know what they were doing. So, anyway, I slept very deeply there the entire time, which shows me it is partly my atmosphere here that is causing insomnia. Now, the sunshine, the salt water, just the peacefulness there, that makes a big difference. So, and I know all that can affect your sleep. I did not get sunburn. I used sunscreen and I was careful. I did go out there 2 hours average each time I went. Sometimes I went more than once in a day. I never got to go at sundown or sunset. I did see part of a sunset the first day, but I never got to go to sunrise. I didn't feel like that was real safe for me to go in the dark and wait for the sun to come up with me being alone. I didn't think that was wise, so I didn't do that. Probably would have been safer at night, but I did get to see part of the sundown one night, the first night, and that was beautiful. I worked on my business while I was there. I wrote every day, I journaled, and I did a business training. I prayed a lot about my business. And my coach, Jane Cunningham Ellis, says if you're not making money, you don't have a business. That's strong. That's very direct. So I really need God to show me what to do. I did feel like he was confirming to me to continue to speak and write using these gifts for his glory. The problem is I need to make good, consistent income. And my husband, Ray, really wants me to make good, consistent income. Not just so we have toy money or, play money. We have actual needs. We have taxes we have to pay off for the last couple of years. Um, We've got bills, we've got debts we need to pay off. And this is confidential, but I didn't know how I was going to pay for this trip. And then I found out from Ray that he had several credit cards. I had no idea. Now, he said it was because he was rebuilding his credit, and he has. He's gotten his credit score very high using it and then paying it off very promptly. So we had to pay for this trip for me with Ray's credit card. Um, I need wisdom from God, how we're going to quickly pay that off. I do not feel guilty about it. I don't feel like I was sin. I believe God opened the door. God put it in my heart. I had an amazing time. I give Jesus all the praise and all the glory. I believe when we pray and we have faith that God hears our prayers. Now, obviously, He doesn't give us everything we want. And we want to make sure that everything we ask for is in alignment with His will. I do not feel bad or guilty for going. I just give Him all the praise. But we do need to pay the credit card off. It was for the Airbnb because I found one that was very reasonable. Actually, the Airbnbs, some of them can be higher than the hotels, but this one was very reasonable. It was beautiful. It was one bedroom. It did have two bunk beds and a sleep out sofa, but it just had the one bedroom for me. It was perfect. It was beautiful. It was decorated in a beach theme. You'll see the pictures. It was amazing, and the pool was right outside, the palm trees, incredible. I sat out there in the blue chair having my coffee, in the morning with my cup and prayed. I got to have my quiet time with God and just alone time with the Lord. I also put a few other things on the credit card while there as a backup, but I primarily took cash. I took cash and my debit credit card from my bank and then Ray's credit card. And I only used our joint account, the money that was in there for the Ubers. And we had to make sure we had a cushion in there for me to be able to Uber. Then I found out Uber was taking it out of my business account, which was a backup card. And so I had to quickly transfer money from our joint account to my business account, which is fine because this is partly a business trip because I was really seeking God on my business and doing business trainings and writing. So please pray that God will provide for us to quickly pay off that credit card. Also, my dentist, I recently had some work done. our taxes, and we have some other things we need to pay off. And I'm seeking God about that. I'm asking God, the Bible says God gives the power to create wealth and he adds no sorrow to it. So that is my prayer, that God would prosper me and add no sorrow to it. And of course, I'm perfectly willing to get a job. I have had jobs throughout our marriage, most of them part-time, but most of them have been for a season and a specific reason. And then that time was over, that season was over. I'm willing to get a job to do what is necessary to help me and Ray. And because I'm a giver, I have a giving heart. I like to bless others. I like to bless my children, my sister and her family, people in need. I like to be a blessing. I took one of my books, Walking with God, while I was there, and I gave it to a lady at a candy shop. I just felt prompted by God to give her the book with my card. I shared about my speaking and writing with other people. I had bought that chair, that mat, and I had a few food items left over the last day. Some deli cheese because I'd made turkey, deli cheese, and fresh tomato sandwiches. And I had some bread left over, deli cheese, and a little bit of plain Greek yogurt. And I did not want to throw it away. I hate wasting food. So I asked the neighbor, I said, explain, I was leaving today. I was going to have to throw this food out. Would she like it? And she said, no, throw it out. I didn't want to do that. So I was sitting outside just praying about different things. And two ladies walked by and I chatted with them about their stay there and told them how awesome the beach is. And then I offered it to them and they said yes. And they were delighted. And I was so happy that I got to bless them. And, you know, I didn't have to waste the food. So I met different people there. When I was on my way to the airport, the lady's name was Lauren, and I was praying the entire time, God, just here I am, send me, use me, because always when I travel, God uses me to speak into someone's life, to encourage them, to pray for them. Um, I had another lady I did pray for at the airport. I'll tell you that in a minute. But the lady in the Uber, the driver, her name was Lauren. And of course, we were just chatting, having a conversation, and it came up that I'm a speaker and writer. She asked me what I speak and write about, and I told her about women's purpose and using their gifts for God's glory. And of course, I need to live that out. And she said, oh, well, I recently read a real interesting book that it was called something like 1000 Souls or something like that. She said it's about when you die, your soul goes into someone else. So you don't really die. The soul never dies. And I just thought that was so interesting. I knew immediately it was God opening the door. And that's hard. It's hard to just talk to random strangers about your faith. You never know how they're going to react, but I knew I couldn't miss the opportunity. So I told her what I believe. What I believe as a Christian believer, we go before God when we die, and there is the judgment. And depending on our relationship with Jesus Christ, if we know him as Savior, that determines what happens to us, whether we are saved or not. And I just briefly told her, this is what I believe. This is my faith. I didn't want to shove it in her face, but I also didn't want to miss the opportunity. And she goes, huh, that's really interesting. So I didn't just knock her down and say, oh no, that's a bunch of crap. You're not reincarnated and become a cow or a cat or, a tree or a flower. I didn't, or you don't go into your cousin or your other, someone you love or a stranger. I didn't just knock it down. I actually can be quite like that sometimes. I'm pretty, as my sister calls it, bull in a china shop approach. I'm very direct. Those of you who really know me, who are my close family and friends, you know this about me. I can be very direct, very blunt. And my husband Ray calls me La Belle Sans Merci, which is the beautiful lady with no mercy. I do have a mercy gift, but I'm much more stronger in the prophetic. But I did plant that seed. Now, when I got to the Destin airport, here's what happened. And I believe it's a direct result of me being bold and courageous It didn't seem like a lot, but I was planting that seed in that lady. I was speaking truth into her. When I got to the Destin airport and after I went through security and went upstairs, I was coming down that escalator again and I fell on the escalator. I have never fallen on an escalator in my life. I believe Satan tripped me, caused me to lose my balance, and I scraped up my leg and I scraped my palm. So you can't really see it very much, but it's red right there. My leg is worse. Please pray it does not get infected. I put Neosporin on it. It hurt when it happened. It's stinging a little bit today. I washed it, put Neosporin on it, but pray it will not get infected. It will heal quickly. I truly believe Satan caused that to happen as backlash. Another girl that was in the airport, she was sitting, we were waiting at the gate. She was waiting on her plane, and my plane had quite a while to go. Um, Beautiful young black girl, but I heard her sniffling. Now, I confess to you, my first thought was, God, please don't let this sniffling lady sit by me on the plane. Well, she wasn't even on my plane. But I did ask God to protect me from COVID, any variants, any other sickness while traveling, because you know those germs are all out there. So I heard her sniffling, and then God just, pierced my heart, and I had compassion on her. And as she got up to go in line to get on the plane, I stopped her a minute and I said, "Are you okay?" I said, "I heard you sniffling. Are you?" And I also saw her taking aspirin or some kind of medicine while she was sitting there waiting on her plane. And she said, "I just have a stuffy nose and stuffy sore throat." And I said, "I will pray for you. What is your name?" And she said, "Danae." And so I said, "I will pray for you." And she said, "Thank you." And she smiled. I did pray, and I asked Ray and our daughters and my sister Maria to pray also. I texted them really quick. I felt like that was a divine appointment. And I just tried everywhere I went. I prayed for God to let me be his sunlight, sunshine. Florida is a sunshine state, the orange state. Let me be his sunshine, his light wherever I went, even if I didn't say anything. And I prayed. I prayed for Destin. I prayed for Florida. I prayed for the United States. I prayed for my family. I prayed for a lot of things while there. Now, one of the things on Facebook that I see a lot that I watch and I share is a man named Mike. I believe his last name is Blyden, Michael Blyden, and he shares a lot of videos of Destin Beach. I believe he's a realtor or he has a luxury Airbnb, way too much for me. But he has a luxury Airbnb. It was gorgeous, but he shows every day the Destin Beach. A lot of times the sunrise, sometimes the sunset. He'll show it when it's, stormy, all the giant waves. And I watch it all the time and I share it a lot. Well, he had mentioned a church there, Destin Oceans Church. And the thought came to me even before I went there, I should go to that church while I'm there. It's right there in Destin. I could take an Uber and go to it and then say, "Hey, Mike, I see your videos. I'm here. You planted that seed about the church, so I'm trying out your church." It's good to be with other believers in other places, right? And I debated it. I debated it because I knew it would be extra Uber cost. And I was trying to be careful with my money, especially at the end, trying to be frugal. But I just took a leap of faith. And I also needed water. I needed more water. And I thought I can either go to church and not have enough water for today in the morning, or I can go to Publix and get more water and miss church. I took a leap of faith, took a Uber, and went to the church. It was not that far. It was a little bit more than I've been spending on Ubers. It was the right choice. I met the pastors, Pastor Michael and Jamie, awesome couple. He's from New York. She's from Panama City. His preaching and teaching was scriptural, and it was about the book of John and Jesus asking Peter, "Who do you say I am?" Do we think Jesus is the Messiah? Do we think he's just a good man? Do we think he's crazy? Do we think he has a demon? I mean, all the people in the Bible were saying these different things about him. And Peter said, "No, you're the Messiah, the Christ, the Son of God." And Jesus said, basically, the Holy Spirit has revealed this to you. No man taught you this. It was really good. Who do you say Jesus is? And the worship was amazing. One of the people on the worship team played the violin beautifully. I've never seen a violin on a worship team. And of course, our daughter Leia plays violin beautifully. So I shared about that with April, the violin player. She was also a greeter. And I took some video clips, just very brief ones. The worship was beautiful. I have missed corporate worship. Ray and I haven't been in a church in quite a while for various reasons. I've tried different ones. I was in one for a while, but it was too far. And so it was really nice to be in a corporate worship setting again. It was crowded. I mean, it wasn't packed like sardines. I didn't see a lot of people wearing masks. People in Florida, a lot of them don't even want to wear the mask. So I didn't see many masks at all in Florida. If you're concerned about that for me, just please pray protection over me from the virus, any variant. I won't spread any germs to my family. I'm keeping my distance for a while. I feel great. So no issues. Just pray I will not get it or any variant. Um, but, it was a wonderful church. I loved it. I met several people there. They have a coffee bar. And they gave us because I was a visitor, they gave me a yellow bag with all these little cute things in it, a pen and a sticker, Oceans sticker, and it just had different cute stuff in it. And they made me feel very welcome. You also get a free coffee if you show them a card that you fill out for your name and address and email. So they made me feel welcome. They thought it was funny that I came there because of Mike's video about the beach and he mentioned Ocean's Church. They thought that was funny and laughed. And hopefully next time I get to meet him and his wife and his two precious, beautiful little girls. But they're going to tell him I stopped by. And I also met a lady going in to the church. I was like, is this where we go in for the front entrance? Her name was Linda. She was there with her husband. They're from Illinois and moved down there. And so they live there 8 months out of the year and then go back to Illinois to visit family. So she befriended me. We exchanged numbers, and I hope to keep in contact with her. And I met another lady there. Her name was Anna, a beautiful black woman from Jamaica. And I was like, what are you doing in Jamaica? Jamaica is gorgeous. But she loves Destin and she travels back and forth to Jamaica when she can to see her family. But she told me what a great church that was, what a great place Destin is. She actually doesn't like the beach. I couldn't believe that. Who doesn't like the beach? Some people don't. They're mountain people or desert people or snow people. But she doesn't like the beach, but she loves Destin. She loves her church too. And I got a word from the Lord. I was always speaking with her, and I said, you like to sing? You like to sing, don't you? And she goes, yes, I love to sing. Okay, I think this cut off. Maybe I can cut and paste it together. I'm not sure. It just suddenly went off. Maybe it was the internet or something. Hopefully, it's one recording. If not, you'll get two. So the lady Anna loved to sing. She's the lady from Jamaica. And she said she just comes to church primarily for the worship, but she also loves the people and she's in life groups. They have small groups there. So that was fun. I was very thankful I went there and glad I went. Let's see if there's anything else that I didn't mention. I did get a couple souvenirs for myself. I bought primarily souvenirs for other people. It's a keychain that says, let's see if you can see it. I heart Destin. I love Destin. I actually want a different color, but I love the red heart on it. And that was the only keychain they had. I actually saw it at Publix first when I went to get my groceries. I didn't get it, and then I thought I have got to get that keychain. So I went back to get water and some other stuff and I got it, but I love it. So cute. And I already had this. This was at my daughter Heather's fiance's Father's Day party that I helped decorate. A little dolphin. I love dolphins. So the other thing I got as a souvenir was this blouse. I get it at I think it's called H&M, but it's white. It's a short top, but I have a t-shirt, a tank top under it because I don't want to show my waist. But I thought it was really pretty with the green and the white. H&M I'd never heard of, but apparently it's a really popular place there. And then I got souvenirs for my family. I'm going to wait a week or two before I give them to them just to make sure I don't have any symptoms, but I'm believing I'm fine. So y'all pray that. I have no virus, no variants, no sickness, no sore throat, any of that stuff. I did use Lysol wipes and things like that. And then I cleaned the Airbnb before I left. They actually let me stay a little bit longer. This is another praise report I have favor. My flight was not going out until 7:25 p.m. yesterday night. I was supposed to check out the Airbnb at 10 a.m. Eastern. I didn't want to wait at the airport all day long. So I asked them, could I stay a little bit longer and explain it? And they did let me. That was favor. Usually people are going to say no, or they're going to charge you for more time. They did ask me to make sure it was clean. And of course I would have done that anyway. So, I had an incredible time. It was exactly what I needed because I've had such a stressful year. I've had a lot of stress this year. And I really desperately needed this time away to relax, have fun, lay on the beach, pray, journal, go out to eat a few times. And I'm planning to do it at least once a year. That Uber driver, Lauren, she confirmed that to go and have fun and relax. She called it a reset. But, as I was telling her how much I loved it, she was like, I know other women that do this, they come out alone. Their families don't want to go to the beach. They want to go and do other things. They have teens. They don't want to just be at the beach all day, which surprised me. But she said they come once a year to be alone, lay on the beach, relax, go out to eat, and just have fun, refill. And she called it a reset. And I believe that's what I'm going to do. Now I need God just to provide every year. I would prefer not to use a credit card, but to save. So please pray that God will prosper me and help me to pay off our debts and our taxes and stuff, and also be able to save toward me going out there again. I hope very soon. I felt like God told me the last day I would be back, and I believe I will. I believe that is my happy place. So dream big. Let's dream big because we serve a big God. What is your dream? God wants to make your dreams come true when it's in alignment with His Word. Let new adventures begin. I've been praying for 3 years for this. And Ray finally said yes when I found a discounted rate on a plane. I had to find a deal first. I had to find a reduced fare for Ray to agree. So, and now we got to pay off the Airbnb. And she believed she could, so she did. So dream big because we serve a big God. I give Jesus Christ all the praise, all the glory. I did pray for Destin. I believe Destin is a play on the word destiny. So I pray for people's destiny and purpose to be released there and all over Florida. I believe Florida is very special in the eyes of God. Lots of prophecies this year and last year about Florida. And I've lived there before in Orlando for about 6 months. So I love Florida, mostly because of the beach, but I love the palm trees, and there's something about Florida. So the next time I go, I would like to see the Gulfarium because I love dolphins. I would even like to do the adventures for the dolphins where you can pet them, get in the pool with them and pet them. I wanted to go to the Donut Hole, which is a popular donut place. They also have really good breakfast, but I wanted to try the donuts. And there was a few other places. The Irish pub is supposed to be great, really fun, great food. I didn't get to go there. A few other restaurants I would like to try, a few other activities. One thing I would love to do is go on a water ski on Crab Island, which is where the locals go. It's a sandbar and so many water activities. I've never done a water ski. Ray thinks if I got on one, I would wreck it. And I was like, you're the one that drives bad. Why would I wreck it? Of course, I've been in more wrecks than him, but uh, anyway, it looks so fun. I would love to do that. So thank you again for praying for me. I'm happy and relieved to be home safely. After the most stressful part was not the airplane, the ride last night coming to Kansas City. God told me ahead of time there's going to be issues with it. It was a bumpy flight. They told us that ahead of time. There was an issue with the plane seat that was broken. We were delayed for about 30, 40 minutes, which got me in very late. And then I had to go from the airport to the park and go to pick up my truck. And I'd forgotten, the truck might not start because I haven't been driving it for a whole week. Thankfully, it started right away. The driver of the park and go shuttle, he was very nice. He was in the Marines. He said it'd be fine. He waited to make sure I started the truck, got all my stuff in. He said, "You have a blessed night." He was so nice and so encouraging. And then the other thing that happened when I drove home, there was road construction. It was nighttime. I am very directionally challenged. And even though I have my GPS taking me home, I was questioning, am I going the right way? Is this the right highway? I don't know directions at all. I get very disoriented with directions. So I felt like God just said, follow the directions and listen to the GPS. And he and the GPS got me safely home. But there was also road construction, fog. I was concerned about deer running in front of me that late at night. It was like 1:32 in the morning. I got home finally at 2:30 a.m. But I had to drive slow and carefully, and I asked God's blood, the blood of Jesus, all around me and his angels, and he got me safely home. So I give him all the praise and glory. That part was stressful for me, but he got me here. And my cat Natalya, she's actually right over here beside me on a little blanket. She was so happy to see me and purred and demanded I pet her. If I didn't pet her, she would try to bite me. She just couldn't get me to pet her enough. So she's very happy I'm home. So just pray for her peace. I'm sure it was, she gets anxious when I leave, but Ray took care of her for me. So that was my trip. I'm going to try to do vlogs. I took tons of picture, tons of video clips. I've got to try to see about iMovie Maker or clips to create vlogs, videos, make movies out of what I saw. And you'll be seeing the pictures in those videos as I can figure out how to create them. So it is absolutely gorgeous. If you ever have a chance to go there to Destin Beach, Florida, to Crystal Beach, which is part of Destin, I encourage you to go. So be blessed and thank you again so much for praying for me. My family prayed. I did not post that I was going on the trip. I did not post pictures or comments while I was there for safety and other reasons. I don't usually do that until I get back from a trip. I felt very safe the entire time. All the Uber drivers were safe. You still have to use wisdom. But God answered all our prayers. So I give him all the thanks, all the glory. So now please just pray that God would show me what to do the rest of the year, how to prosper, how to make consistent good money, speaking, writing, coaching, doing virtual trainings, live speaking events. If you know anyone that needs a speaker, I'm available for this year, the rest of this year, next year. I love to encourage women, pray for them, speak into their lives. So have luggage, will travel. So, oh, by the way, I did pat light and tight. I used to be a flight attendant. I always still take too much, but I got everything into two bags, carried them on the plane, a rollerboard in my backpack. And then I came back with more than I had, the souvenirs, so I had to figure it out even more tighter. I did not check baggage because I'm concerned it would get lost, but I was able to do that. That was another answered prayer. So y'all be blessed. Have a beautiful day and ask me any questions you want about the trip. Thank you again for praying. I love you, and I will talk to you later. This is Beth, and I'll see you. Bye.